A Journey Without Reason, Extreme Edition. It all started when I accidentally clicked on a shady travel website ad that said, "Buy 10 flights or suffer eternal regret." Before I knew it, I had booked a flight through Doha, Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, Florida, and back to Bangkok. I didn't even want to travel. It just happened. The GOAT diplomatic incident in Doha. Upon landing in Doha, a mysterious man in sunglasses handed me a small, angry goat and whispered, "This is yours now." He is a diplomat. Carry him with pride. Before I could argue, he disappeared in a cloud of smoke that smelled like dates and engine oil. At passport control, the officer looked at my passport. Then at the goat. Then at me. "Okay," he said, stamping my passport with ink that immediately started melting. I never found out what that meant because I woke up on a plane full of Chinese tourists playing mahjong in midair without a table. Singapore, where immigration only asks math questions. Upon arrival in Singapore, I was immediately taken to an interrogation room because I had failed to fill out the Solve the Global Energy Crisis using only a monkey's grunts and 3 bowling balls section of my immigration form. "It's standard procedure," the officer explained, handing me an impossibly complex equation. "The answer is 42, I said. "Accepted," he nodded and stamped my passport with "mathematically suspicious but approved." Hoping to relax, I walked down Orchard Road, only to find myself caught in a phone booth dancing competition, where hundreds of people were dancing alone inside red phone booths. I accidentally followed them into an underground metro tunnel, where I stumbled upon Buddhist monks running a $500 per person escape room that could only be solved by dancing like 1980s robots. I failed miserably. Luckily, someone threw me a train ticket to Kuala Lumpur. It was printed directly on a loaf of bread. Kuala Lumpur and the shady digital president. On the train, I met a man who claimed to be the Malaysian vice president's digital clone, a government program that only worked in rainforests and airports. He invited me to join Malaysia's Secret Coffee League, a group of elite caffeine addicts who competed to see who could drink the most coffee while staying completely still. I lost immediately, but as a consolation prize, I received a bag of coffee beans filled with dice and a small elephant. Unfortunately, the Malaysian government noticed I had received an elephant without permission, so I had to flee to Florida. I don't know how, but when I got on the plane, the pilot was Dr. Phil ***, and the flight attendants were 3 alligators in tiny uniforms. Florida, where bad decisions come to party. When I landed in Florida, I went straight to Miami Beach, only to find that the entire beach was populated by shrimp wearing tiny suits and talking on cell phones. I tried to call a taxi, but the driver turned out to be a time-traveling golfer who claimed to be my future self and told me I needed to invest in 4,000 tons of palm oil immediately. "If you don't, the universe will collapse," he shouted, handing me a list of stocks that didn't exist yet. At this point, I lost my patience and hijacked a motorcycle powered by an alligator, which somehow took me straight to Florida's most infamous contest, the Florida Man Championship. Nobody wins the Florida Man Championship. That was when I knew it was time to go back to Bangkok. I got on a plane full of people who looked exactly like me, each one claiming to be a version of me from an alternate timeline. Bangkok, where time loses all meaning. The plane landed in Bangkok, where an old man greeted me, handed me a sure white hat ***, and said, "***, you are now the legal ruler of Bangkok." Before I could refuse, the time-traveling taxi driver reappeared and screamed, "I knew you'd come back." At that moment, the entire city turned into a swirling vortex of noodles, pulling me deep into Bangkok's Chinatown, where an ancient shaman whispered, "You were never real. You were just a dream, dreamed by a small elephant." That's when I decided I needed a nap. Or maybe I needed to wake up. But just as I closed my eyes, the goat from Doha reappeared and asked, "Are you ready for Mongolia?" And the journey began all over again.